Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Now, today is Sunday, and I usually take Sunday as a day off, but a very important issue came up yesterday in the that was reported in the media, and therefore I need to highlight it, and I need to give my perspective on this very, very serious topic that could cost the United National Congress the elections in 2030. Motorists across Trinidad and Tobago are now facing stiffer penalties for a range of traffic offenses following the implementation of Legal Notice number 471 of 2025, which doubles people, and not the doubles that we love to eat, doubles fines previously set at $1,000 to $2,000 in a time where people can't even afford to pay the $1,000 tickets. The new fines will come into effect on January 1st, 2026. It applies to offenses covering vehicle safety, seat belt compliance, public service vehicle PSV and taxi operations, and mobile device use while driving. My response to this particular report, PNM's taxing policies continues. It's sad to see UNC going down this pathway. The demerit point system was the main issue which was raised by Kamala and the UNC while they were in opposition and on the campaign trail. If she did in fact criticize the traffic fines as well, which I can't really remember, then it's truly disappointing to see this shift in her opinion. And let me just say there again, I can't remember, but from what people said online, she did raise that issue and found it to be extreme. I honestly believe that Tanku and others are a bad influence on the Prime Minister when it pertains to generating revenue via taxes and fines, people. I believe most of the population agree in increased penalties for serious traffic offenses, such as speeding and reckless driving, along with DUIs, people. But fines for those other minor traffic offenses should have never been increased. By 2030, it will be too late for the UNC to acknowledge the fact that implementing PNM's taxing revenue-generating policies will result in a landslide defeat. I'm not a prophet, but I use common sense, and the same way how I was speaking about the wrong decisions being made by the PNM administration, I will do the same, and I will continue to do the same for the next 5 years under the Kamala Persad administration, even though I still, in spite of all this, generally support them. Trinis vote PNM by default, people. That is just the reality, and will always prefer to suffer under the PNM. It's not like anything would have been any better under the PNM, people. It would have been even worse. But so prefer to suffer under PNM than at the hands of any other political party. This is not just about UNC. Any other political party making these wrong types of decisions, these PNM decisions, cannot survive another term in office. Hopefully with significant, but listen to this though, and this is the reason why I still support them. Hopefully with significant infrastructure development, better healthcare, secured borders, especially with this war against narco-terrorism, increased wages, the reopening of Petrotrim, and an overall revival of TNT's economy, Trinis will ignore these issues, although it's very significant issues, and I highly doubt so, and give UNC a second term in office. I'm just hoping, people. I'm just hoping. Trinidad and Tobago won't survive another 5 years under PNM's governance. I'm telling you, we were heading for collapse. We were heading for collapse. This 1% version of that red party is far more destructive than when it was ruled by Manning or the founder, Eric Williams. Lawlessness. Yes, people, lawlessness drove the Prime Minister to impose tougher penalties for road traffic offences. This is the reason Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar cited as a driving factor behind a government's decision to impose significantly tougher penalties for road traffic offences. My dear Prime Minister, you didn't see the lawlessness all the time under the PNM administration. Why didn't you include these types of policies in your manifesto? On December 25th, a legal notice was published announcing increased penalties across a range of offences, including speeding, dangerous driving breaches, documentation violations, and other road traffic infractions. My response, and listen to this carefully, people, while PNM was in office, we described these traffic tickets as a form of taxes. Do you know one of the ticket offenses includes people that have imperfect or so-called defective vehicles? Therefore, if you have an older vehicle and any slight issue, police could pull you over and find considered to be defective, or a licensing officer can decide to use that opportunity to tax you to be able to generate money for the government. That is nonsense, people. Let me read over what I was saying there. While PNM was in office, we described these traffic tickets as a form of taxes, which were collected by police, licensing officers, and traffic wardens in order to allocate funds for PNM's fiscal budget. I made videos even right here in Sangre Grande, and I spoke about the taxation. And now I would be a hypocrite just because I support this UNC and make excuses for them now? That is not who I am, and I will never be that way. I am not loyal to any political party. I'm loyal to Trinidad and Tobago and my fellow citizens. Why didn't you focus on increasing the fines and even include imprisonment for speeding and other forms of reckless driving? If you so care about the lawlessness and the road traffic fatalities, focus on those serious traffic offenses, my dear Prime Minister. Those other minor traffic offenses don't contribute to road fatalities. So all you're doing is adopting PNM's narratives and policies at this point in time. We all know that PNM left the country bankrupt. We all know that. But what you should do is tell the population that you will have to delay fulfilling campaign promises until the economy recovers. But instead, you want to come and tax the life out of the population. Because why? You are afraid the trade unions will start to protest? It's better they protest than to persecute the citizens that voted for you. And you promised you were not going to place the burdens on these citizens. And that's exactly what you're doing at this point in time, because a large population, the large sector of the population own vehicles, and yet a lot of them belong to the working class, and they do not have perfect vehicles, my dear Prime Minister. Focus on reopening Petrotrin and diversifying the economy, right? Expanding at the agricultural sector, the tourism sector. You spoke about the manufacturing sector, but now you're only studying about tanku tax, everybody taxing, instead of raiding the poor man's pockets. Why didn't you mention these plans in your manifesto? It's because you know very well that it would have costed you the election. In spite of this, I still support a lot, not all, because look at what I'm saying right here. In spite of this, I still support a lot of the Kamala Persad-Bissessar administration's plans and policies, including the war on narco-terrorism. But listen to this, people. Most people don't think like me. The vast majority of citizens care about their bread and butter, including myself. You're basically telling the poor man to ride a bicycle because his car isn't road worthy. Doesn't that sound just like the PNM, my dear people? My dear fellow, even UNC supporters, that's exactly what the PNM was telling you. Ban your belly, tighten your belt, and also about obeying the laws. The PNM patriots were saying that all the time while we were complaining. It will now take a huge miracle to win the next general elections in 2030. Because now, this is not just one thing you have done, you know. You shut down CPEP and URP, which I supported. But you haven't done anything significant to give these people job opportunities, labor employment opportunities since the shutdown. CPEP and URP was definitely very corrupt. But what are you? You're taking your royal slow time. Your very slow time to what? To hire people in this new program that you have. We are not seeing any progress in Sangre Grande up to now. But anyhow, getting back to what I was saying there. Trini swing voters, my dear fellow citizens, vote on UNC. And Prime Minister Kamala Pasabi says, Trini swing voters vote PNM by default. They swing at times, but they mostly vote PNM and will always prefer to suffer under their 1% Balize masters than any other political party. No more overheating phones. Cool your phones in seconds. Prevents damage to phones and battery issues. Better gaming experience and streaming. USB powered and fast charging. Lightweight and quiet. Ideal for kids and adults. Works with all smartphones. Makes a great gift. Call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. Maxi taxi operators who use the priority bus route will face a significant price hike starting next month, people. Under legal notice number 475, the Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation has officially doubled the cost. Doubled, people. Everything is doubles now. The cost of the special road toll. Beginning, and most maxi taxis use the PBR. Bear that in mind. Beginning January 1st, 2026, the fee for a permit to operate on the PBR will jump from $300 to $600. My response, yet another PNM taxing policy is being implemented in order to generate revenue. This is pure nonsense that is taking place now. We all oppose overbearing taxes which were being imposed by the mighty morphing Ghanaian PNM. And yet now all we're hearing is we need to generate revenue by taking money from the pockets of the citizens. The plan was to diversify the economy and reopen Petrotrim. Wasn't that so, my dear Prime Minister? So who came up with the idea to resume PNM's tax the life out of the population policy? Who came up with that idea? Premium touchscreen wireless headsets restocked. 1.9-inch HD full-color touchscreen. ANC and ENC noise reduction for crystal clear calls. 9D panoramic sound. Long battery life and fast charging. Control music, videos, TikTok, YouTube, and much more. Camera feature, voice assistant, timer, stopwatch, and lyrics on screen. Water resistant, sleek design. Available in gold, black, blue, and purple. Gift ready packaging with replacement earbuds included. Never lose your earbuds again with the Find Headphones feature that actually works. Don't miss out. WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order. Limited stock available. Now, after pleasing the PNM supporters with this video, this issue, of course, they're going to disagree with. No, I didn't intend to please the PNM supporters, my dear fellow UNC supporters, but I speak the facts, and at times the facts will please the PNM supporters. Maduro supporters, including PNM, say that a zone of peace means that there are no wars between sovereign nations within a region. I know that. We all know that. They also say that the Kamala Prasad administration should focus on illegal guns instead of supporting Trump's war against narco-terrorism. How ignorant and arrogant can these radical leftist communists really be? Illegal drugs and guns are smuggled in by the same people being targeted by the Trump administration. You feel it's a different set of people smuggling the drugs? Whether it is through the legal ports or the illegal ports, it's the drug smugglers that are bringing in the guns as well to be able to give it to their gangs. You don't know that, my dear PNM patriots? We all know that what Democrats and Maduro Caribbean supporters consider to be a zone of peace. But what do you think causes most of the murders in TNT, Jamaica, and other islands, my dear PNM patriots? Drugs. Drugs, of course, does that. That's the fuel driving it. What do you think causes turf wars? Drugs, my dear people. Keep living in that Democrat, DNC, PNM, and Maduro dream where peace only matters at a diplomatic level. My dear fake zone of peace patriots. Tired of losing your keys, phone, or coins in that annoying gap between your car seat and the console? We've got the perfect solution. Our universal car seat gap fillers are back in stock, ready to save your stuff and make your ride clutter-free. Available in black, brown, beige, and red, they're designed to fit any car seat and blend perfectly with your interior. Simply WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order and enjoy delivery straight to your door in just 1 to 3 days. For several former CPEP workers, Christmas 2025 was marked less by celebration and more by survival. Since the termination of hundreds of CPEP contracts at the end of June, more than 10,000 workers have been left without a steady income, and many say the impact has been most painfully felt during the holiday season. Now, as I said before, just a little while ago, the UNC administration is taking too long to hire new laborers throughout Trinidad and Tobago to maintain our roadways and our drains and so forth under this new program. Nevertheless, my response here was, while there's genuine need, because I know it's just said it there, while there's genuine need for maintenance workers throughout Trinidad, the reality is that most weren't actually performing their duties and yet were collecting a salary for over 2 years under the PNM. Ghost gangs, people, they were collecting a salary and not doing any work whatsoever. Where were they cleaning drains and cutting bush? On Rowley's goat farm? Most of our highways, main roads, and communities were neglected, while a few CPEP and European workers were only seen in selected PNM stronghold areas. If Kakash and his team were genuine journalists, they would speak the truth about the corruption in those programs, while also highlighting the unemployment issues many working class individuals are experiencing today. I'm not against that. I want my fellow citizens, including PNM citizens, to obtain employment. I don't want them to remain unemployed. As I've said on numerous occasions, the new maintenance program needs to be expanded so that there will be sufficient laborers to perform this essential service throughout our country. But I'm glad that the PNM's Eater Food programs have been terminated. You won't be disappointed with this one. Look and feel great every day. Painless trimming with no pulling of hair guaranteed. Comfortable to hold and lightweight. Intelligent anti-pinch system. Safety travel lock. Accurate and painless trimming. Durability 100% quality. Fast charging. To place an order, call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news report. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe, most of all, in Jesus' name.